could you state your name and where you're from for the people who might not be familiar with you?
Well, they call me P.Y.T. I'm a female hip-hop artist, writer, performer from Carson, California. Y'all in my city right now, Carson.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so where did you get the name They Call Me P.Y.T? And does it have anything to do with MJ?
Yes. The name comes from my friends. They named me P.Y.T. because I was a Michael Jackson fan, and when I moved to Los Angeles, people like Michael Jackson, but people were afraid to show that they like Michael Jackson. Me, I showed it. So people would tease me, but then they was just like, we just gonna call her P.Y.T. And They Call Me P.Y.T. became They Call Me P.Y.T.
Okay, cool. Are you ever going to like lose the They Call Me and just call yourself P.Y.T, or you plan on sticking with the whole?
Probably I'm gonna keep They Call Me, and the reason why is because it's a Michael Jackson song, so copyright, trademark. Diddy had a group named P.Y.T. So yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, I gotta put that They Call Me in front.
Okay. So what steered you towards rap or the music scene, and do you have any inspirations?
What made me, when I was 11, I started writing songs and poetry, short stories, like 5th grade. And what made me want to be a rapper was Lil Bow Wow. And the reason why is because, you know, people say, you know, whatever, but Bow Wow is a legend, you know.
Sure.
I grew up, I was born, 1990. I grew up in the 90s, but I didn't live the 90s. So like when Criss Cross was popping and stuff like that, I knew the song, but I wasn't really into it. I was like, 2 years old or something, you know? So when Bow Wow came out, I was like 13 years old. I seen he was a little young male rapper, and I'm like, I want to be the female to kind of, you know, go at him, and that's where it came from. Yeah.
Damn, you've been writing since you was... That's what's up, yo.
Yeah.
And it's paying off finally, you know that?
Finally,
dope.
yes.
I see you was just in Florida doing shows and on tour.
Yes.
What was your experience like, especially, you know, during this pandemic and everything? Like, how was that, like, performing and doing shows, like, you know, in this time?
It's been cool. I mean, it's weird because you have to wear a mask. Being on the plane, you have to wear a mask. So it's like, I didn't like that part. But it's been cool. I will say that people have gravitated more to social media. So I got to get back in the street. That's why I've been doing my performances now. They kind of let up and they're letting people perform now. Not so much with the mask, I guess. So I'm back in the street. But as far as social media wise, the pandemic helped me. I feel like it noticed more on that wave. The whole virtual performance type thing, like I did a couple of those, and it was cool. So I think it's been a curse and it's been a blessing. I'll say that.
Gracious. Yo, so I seen you have a song titled Big Bands featuring AD and Fresco.
Yeah.
And how did that come about?
Management. Shout out to my manager. Relationships, when they say business relationships are very important, they are. Because you'll know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and that's how this situation came about. And then we recorded it. Shout out to Nine Official, he produced it. Shout out to No Jumper for letting us shoot a segment of the video there. But yeah, management, business relationships, the relationships that he had that now I form with people, you know. So make sure y'all have relationships, y'all.
Speaking of are you planning on collaborating with any other Carson artists like Absol, Razzcast, or like Reason? People from Carson who are also from Carson?
I went to Razzcast, Corrupt, Cannabis, and Killer Priest. They just had an album listening party, and I went. I met Razzcast for the first time, so hopefully, you know, we'll be able to work together. I know he's really into like bars, like real hip hop, you know, really spitting. So I think that'd be dope to get on the track with him and be able to unleash bars and be raw versus so commercial. As far as Reasons, Absol, I mean, I would love to meet them, and I hope that they hear me that one day when I get there, we'll be able to work with one another. I do tap in with Carson artists because I am trying to work more with Carson artists because I'm from Carson. Just like LA, Compton connect, Carson needs to connect. So I'm working on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
That's what's up. How did you get into merchandising, and what's the name of your brand?
Well, I'll say first, branding. I got into branding, like really realizing how important it was. The more they started coming out with social media platforms, new things on the internet, every time they would come out with something, They Call Me P.Y.T was my username. And then I started noticing that's how people were finding out about me too when it came to the computer, because all you got to do is type that in and I'll pop up. I started making like my own clothes, I want to say in like 2011. I started out with my friends and stuff. It was called I Grind. And then people started catching on like, oh, okay, that's her little brand. That's what they knew me for. This time around, rather, it's been merchandise. So like I came out with an EP, Pearl Heart. So I have merchandise specifically for that project. And then on the side, you know, I have my clothing line coming. Pretty Young Thing, you know, different designs, kind of like Forever 21, and dropping shirts and, you know, just different things like that. Not so much like a bad boy, you know, clothing line and everything says Sean Combs on it. You know, it'll be pictures of pretty girls. It'll be pictures of guys. It'll be different designs, but it'll be cool things that you'll be able to wear, and everything ties back into They Call Me P.Y.T. So.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So everybody can get it out the trunk, but how did you get yours here at the Carson Mall? Yo, like, tell me about that. Like,
shout out to the Carson Mall. Shout out to South Bay Pavilion. Shout out to my mama, and shout out to Every Play Matters. So my mom, she comes up here more often than I do because I don't live in Carson. I live in Inglewood. And she came up here. I think she was getting a shirt made or something. And she met Misha and Joanne. That's the brother and sister crew that own Every Play Matters. They have a cart right in the middle of the mall. And they were talking. And she told them, like, you know, my daughter's a rapper. She has clothes, yada, yada. So they tell her, you know, bring her down here. Bring some merch. Let's see. I came down here and it was just, that was it. You know, they met me, they saw the merch, and they was like, all right, let's get a section. And I've been in here for about maybe 4 months, 4 or 5 months or something. And as you see, like, I'm running low on stuff. I got to re-up again. And it's been good. It has. Yeah.
Hey, that's what's up, man. That's a great look. And you put out Meal Ticket in 2019, Quarantine Bay in 2020, and Pearl Heart in 2021. Why did you come up with the title Pearl Heart, and how do you stay so consistent?
Pearl Heart, well, I was looking for like a female. First, it started off as looking for a female villain, because I know that people look at superheroes all the time as being the people to save the day, and they do save the day. But it's some badass villains out there too that they may be bad, but then there are people that's worse. That they may help and defend you from, and then they have their reasons why they do what they do, and when you listen to the reasons, sometimes it makes you understand. So Pearl Heart came about because she was like an old outlaw, old western, you know, cowboys, that type of thing, and her mom got sick, and she didn't have the money to pay for her mom to go to the hospital. Just imagine back then, they had like what, pennies and nickels, quarters, dollars. They literally didn't have nothing. Yeah, pennies, nickels, quarters, and shit like that. So she basically was broke. Doctor told her, look, your mama needs this procedure. If she don't, she gonna die. So she decided, I'm gonna go rob a stagecoach. Stagecoach train, you know, for those. Yeah. So she went to rob a stagecoach, and did she get? No, she didn't get away with it. The guy that she had robbing with her ended up being her fall guy. But yeah, that's how Pearl Heart came about. And I kept that energy, just the fact that I feel like, you know, I got a family to feed. You know, I got people in my life that depend on me. So I feel like I got to go get it by any means necessary, which is why I got BAM by any means necessary shirts. And as far as consistency, just wanting to win. you gotta want to win. It's not about nobody else. If you don't want to win, it's not gonna happen. And you win by being consistent. And because I want to win, I'm consistent. So I'll continue to keep dropping and doing what I'm doing, building up my brand and my business, and hopefully I'll be successful. We'll continue to be successful, and yeah, by being consistent.
That's what's up. I see you working, man.
Because it all ties in, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And last but not least, is there anything that you like want to plug, or anyone you want to send a shout out to? And can you tell the people where they can find you online and stuff like that?
All right, shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Every Play Matters. I want to give a shout out to my management, Giga ENT. I want to give a shout out to my family. I ain't gonna name everybody. I want to give a shout out to my friends. I'm not gonna name everybody. I want to give a shout out to everybody that support me. You for the interview, thank you. And everybody who don't like me, I want to give a shout out to you too, because the more that you don't like me, you know, it motivates me. It doesn't make me mad. It makes me want to keep coming with more and more, because I know that you're watching. So yeah, shout out to everybody. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, iTunes, Spotify. Everything is They Call Me P.Y.T. If you don't feel like going to those platforms and typing that in, just Google me and it'll all pop up. They Call Me P.Y.T.
Righteous. Ayo, thank you so much. Much success to you. And keep representing, man. I see you, man, and salute to you.
Thank you.
And you inspiring a lot of young women, you know, to like do their thing and hustle and, you know, reach their goals. And I commend you for that.
Thank
man,
you.
Much respect. Keep going for the gusto.
Yeah,
and
the
we
gusto.
out of here. Thank you. Peace.